Did you know these facts from these 10 animated movies? Did you know in the movie Monsters, Inc., the sequence where Sully thinks that Boo has gone through the trash compactor is an homage to the Looney Tunes cartoon short titled Feed the Kitty that released in 1952 by Warner Bros. In that cartoon, a bulldog named Mark Antony mistakenly believes that Pussyfoot, a kitten he has adopted, has been made into a cookie. Did you also know? Mary Gibbs, who voiced Boo in the movie, was so young that it proved difficult to get her to stand in the recording studio and act her lines. Instead, they simply followed her around with a microphone and cut Boo's lines together from the things she said while she played. Did you know in cars, Luigi's license plate reads 445108, which is the latitude and longitude of Ferrari's main factory in Modena, Italy? Did you also know? This was Paul Newman's last American film before his death from lung cancer in 2008. It turned out to be the highest-grossing film of his career. Did you know in the movie Inside Out? For the voice of toddler-age Riley, the producers recycled the old dialogue of Mary Gibbs, who provided the voice of Boo in the movie Monsters, Inc. She is even listed in the credits under additional voices, and toddler-age Riley's hair is styled the same way as Boo's. Did you also notice this? As Riley progresses throughout the story and becomes more depressed and withdrawn, her clothing choices go from being bright and colorful to being darker and more plain. Did you know in the movie Up? This is the first animated film and the first 3D film ever to open the Cannes Film Festival. When the film ended, the festival audience remained complete silence. During a panel discussion at the 2011 D23 Expo, executive producer John Lasseter said it was actress Tilda Swinton who broke the silence, leading the audience to applause and standing ovation. Did you know in the Kung Fu Panda 3? On their way to the secret panda village, Po and his father pass by two large stones that sit on an equally stone-like terrain and are slanted toward the right of the screen. The stones and their setting is very similar to the stones that Shrek and Donkey pass by on their way to Fiona's castle in Shrek. Did you know in Ratatouille, when Remy, voiced by Patton Oswalt, is climbing out of the sewers for the first time, a dog barks at him in one of the houses. You only see a silhouette of the dog, but it's Doug in the Pixar movie Up, which was still in production at the time. Did you know in the movie Onward? A fast food restaurant called the Burgershire has a sign that reads, "Now serving second breakfast," which is a reference to the Lord of the Rings franchise. In the Lord of the Rings books and movies, the second breakfast is a meal enjoyed by the hobbits that live in the Shire. Did you know in the movie Brave? Pixar developed 2 additional software programs within 3 years for the film. One of this was called Presto and made it possible to simulate 1,500 curly hairs to move along with Merita's movements. Did you know in the movie Lightyear? Buzz's ship's navigation named Ivan doesn't work properly at the beginning. He pops out the unit, blows into it to clear out the dust, and sticks it back in, after which it miraculously works.
Ready the flight plan, please, Ivan.
Certainly.
This is similar to a widely used technique for the original Nintendo Entertainment System and Sega consoles when game cartridges failed to load properly. However, Nintendo at the time warned against it, and many game experts since then have debunked the practice as an urban legend. Blowing on the cartridge actually tended to make the problem worse by corroding the copper pins, making it harder for the Sega connector pins to make a clean connection. Did you know in the movie How to Train Your Dragon? Toothless hesitation during his famous touch scene was actually an animation mistake, but it looked so perfect that the animators decided to keep it in the movie.